Welcome everyone to the IIBA Tampa Bay, Florida chapter study group for January 2022. Happy New Year. This is a continuation from a study group we began mid last year. We are currently on our 16th class. Our mission at the IIBA Tampa Bay is to bridge the gap between industry leaders and business analysts by building partnerships with professionals, educators, and employers so that we may empower, instruct, and engage the Tampa Bay IT community. We have a variety of ways that you can access us. We have a website, we've got meetups, you can find many activities through. We've got Facebook, and we have 2 different ways to get to us through LinkedIn. If you have questions, concerns, need mentorship, reach out to us. The IIBA Tampa Bay is run by our board. Cliff is our president. We've got Lori as our treasurer or vice president of finance. Caitlin and Priscilla are members at large. I am the vice president of career and professional development. My name is Thea Raisins, and Tiffany Gardner is my cohort that helps me run this occasionally. Bob Churchill is our in-house resident that is our expert. He has passed his CBAP certification. He is here to legitimize our 1 hour that we spend together. He's able to tell us what is actually on the test, as well as strategies and techniques. Bob also has a phenomenal website that has so much value that's beyond just business analysis. It also has information from a variety of other disciplines that all lean in to make your knowledge more valuable. People that are participating, let's see, I've got me on here and I've got Bob on here. Give me a roll call. Cliff is here.
And Ryan Jones.
And Mr. Jones, we get to make a brand new line just for you. That's exciting.
Thank you.
Ryan, how did you find out about our study group?
Through meetup.com.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Where are you located at?
Over in Smyrna by Daytona Beach.
Very nice. Well,
on the other side.
Well, we actually, being the chapter for the northern half of Florida, we also help people that are all over the world. So as a Floridian, you're welcome. And if you know anybody else who's interested in joining us, we would welcome them as well. Are you a member of a specific chapter, Ryan?
No, I'm not. I've been kind of isolated over the past couple years. You know, I haven't really engaged in too many special interest groups. So I figured I would start looking online. I moved down here from Ohio in August. So just kind of re-engaging or, reestablishing these types of networks. So I was really happy to see you guys have a chapter and are meeting online. So it's the perfect fit. And my background is project management and business analysis, working with startups, enterprise, kind of all around, kind of a jack of all trades.
Very nice. Well, if you decide you want to join the IIBA, if you'll identify us as your chapter, it allows us to get a very, very small portion of the fee so that we can use that to further our things, like maybe eventually we'll be able to offer scholarships or something.
Right.
But what we are going to do today is, as I said earlier, continue the study group. We are working on enterprise, let's see, what's it called? Solution evaluation. And we've met 15 times for study groups. We've met a few times for other things. Occasionally we had technical difficulties. One time it was just to talk to people about how to actually apply it to take the test, because it's a little bit of a complex process. It's not insurmountable. It just, you need to kind of be walked through it to do it well. We typically meet every Tuesday. Right now, as I said, we've met quite a number of times. I don't know how many more times we're going to be meeting. We haven't come to that decision, but we're going to finish this darn book. Do you have a copy of the IIBA's BABOK version 3?
I don't. I may have had like a PDF in the past, but I don't have a recent version. I am a huge proponent of it, and I love the BABOK. Just, it's really helped me define requirements So
Good.
I don't
Ryan?
have that, but go ahead.
Yeah, oh, sorry to cut in, but Ryan, if you reach out to me, I don't know if you've connected with me. And I have trouble remembering people. We have a shared drive where we have all the previous meetings. So you can actually listen to those and record, those recordings and everything else. So if you reach out to me, we'll get you in all our channels. And this is our first meetup for the year. So
Okay.
I don't know if everyone else is sleeping, because usually we do have more people.
Yeah, we typically have probably 8 people that are participating. And one of the things that I really appreciate about this meeting is the conversation about why a answer is correct, or what makes it correct, or the most correct of the 4 options is probably the most valuable thing, because you get different people's perspective and we learn from each other. 2 things I want you to know, Ryan, about the BABOK is the BABOK is written by a whole bunch of different people. We are working on rewriting it to make it a little bit easier to understand, but the questions that you have to be able to answer are questions as the BABOK would present reality. It's not exactly the way reality is always. In the real world, there are certain things that we would do as business analysts or project managers that the BABOK presents a little bit differently, and you have to answer the questions based on what the BABOK says. So having a copy of the BABOK is really important to be able to answer the questions. It's kind of like memorizing what a $100 bill looks like to be able to see what the counterfeits would be. If you join the IIBA, you can have a PDF of the BABOK free.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's move on. Our answers that we've been getting throughout the weeks have been rather low, but fortunately what we've been reassured is that if we have this same level of competency whenever we take the test, we'll probably pass the test. What we would like to do, though, is have higher scores on this. So without further ado, let's jump back into solution evaluation. We try to do each chapter twice because what we've discovered is the first time we go through it, we don't do a really great job, and we want to do a better job. We use Watermark Learning's test whenever we go through these test questions. Let's go to select exam. I chose Watermark because I'm comfortable with it. You're able to do test questions based on the different chapters, or you can do a combination, or you can do random questions as you would get them on the test. But because we are just doing one chapter at a time, we use this. Watermark is one of the more reputable companies. There are others. I'm not saying this is the best, it's just the one I chose. And then they not only did they allow me to share this with everyone this way, then they gave us a year free. So we're using them. So here's the first question. Which of the following are the inputs for measure solution performance task? Business objectives, implemented solution, solution performance measures, current state description, business objectives, potential value, or validation of implemented solution to measure solution performance. This one has almost the same wording. What do y'all think? Did I lose you guys?
Is it too obvious that it's B, solution performance measures?
Well, it seems like that makes sense. That doesn't mean that that's what it is, but it
Sure.
seems like it makes sense. Can I get a second vote?
Probably overthinking it. Let's go with that.
Okay, let's check the
It
answer.
could be A though, right? I mean,
Yep. Well, business objectives would give you what your goal is, and then implemented solution would give you your comparison. So That's what it says it is. Let's go to 8.1.1 and actually see what it looks like. 8.1.1. Let's do it the easy way. So to define performance measures and use the data collected to evaluate the effectiveness of a solution in relation to the value it brings. And here is the inputs, implemented solution and business objectives. That goes into measure solution performance, and the output of that is solution performance measures. And then those plug into analyze current state and analyze performance measures. That makes perfect sense. But we didn't do it right.
Tricky.
Yeah,
That's a tricky one.
it is. Okay, let's go to the next one. Leah was a BA on the website refresh project and had been incredibly thorough in requirements elicitation, prioritization, and design definition. The website was marketed to promise an online experience like no other. 3 months after deployment, all performance measures reflect perfection. Still, online shoppers aren't happy. The director of customer loyalty is desperate for a quick fix. Which of the following outputs would help Leah understand the customer experience? Reading all of the complaints, utilize a survey or questionnaire, create use cases and scenarios, or conduct focus groups. She already has the complaints. Well, I don't know. That's an assumption. They aren't happy. That's all we know.
We assume that's why they're not happy. They're telling you.
Yeah.
I would think D.
All right, B is good.
Well, D could also work.
Yeah. But it
And
says
C was, I mean, all of them made sense.
they do all make sense. It says B wouldn't be a quick process. That's its objection. So according to it, create use cases and scenarios would help her understand the expectations the user had about their interaction with the website. But without gathering information from them, how can she create use cases and scenarios?
Let's flag this.
Let's flag this, because if she doesn't read the complaints, utilize the survey or questionnaire, or conduct focus groups, she doesn't have any way to get information from them. So we're flagging it.
Yeah, there was so much about that question that could be better, and so much more it could talk about the information she has available just from the metrics collected from the operation of the site. User engagement, time on pages, completed sales, etc.
I agree. And this sentence right here makes the BA in me just scream. There is no testable criteria there. There's nothing that you can say it has achieved it.
Nope,
Okay.
that's a marketing person that wrote that.
It is. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, this is the same question with a different, same scenario with a different question. Hindsight being 2020, what is Leah's biggest lessons learned from this experience? A, she should have benchmarked against competitors to ensure her site's functionality was similar. User requirements can change suddenly and unexpectedly. Even though requirements appear to reflect users' wants, piloting the site using prototype with users representing various customer segments may have uncovered areas of discontent before full deployment. Or D, she should have gotten more users involved in the user acceptance testing to get a more comprehensive, scroll down, well, okay, scroll down this way, feedback. Which one do y'all think is right?
C and D sound pretty good.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't know which one to pick from those two.
Well, they're both kind of pilots, aren't they? This is user acceptance testing and this is a prototype.
Yeah, and you'll do a prototype first.
Yeah, that sounds.
I'm gonna bet you Babok likes prototypes more. And we are victorious. Congratulations, team. Okay, number 4. The corporate office of a financial services company recently locked into a 1-year health plan that, while saving the organization a substantial amount of money for the year, significantly changed the terms of the employees' health care plans. That change was found to be the reason for a recent decrease in employee satisfaction. Upon discovery that the change in the healthcare plan caused lower employee satisfaction and considering all other factors, the BA recommended that the organization do nothing. Was this the right recommendation? A, no, there is always something you can do. B, yes, it is not feasible or even possible to change it. C, no, the BA should have recommended a way to enhance it to increase solution value. Or D, no, the BA should recommend retiring the solution and introducing another that better meets employees' needs. I dislike this question.
I agree.
But what is the best answer according to the BABOK?
I would say A, but there's so much about this context that could be clarified. For
Yes.
example, the BA doesn't always recommend a solution. I think their biggest thing they do is really facilitate the process with as many as people as possible involved in it.
I agree.
Nope. And this is a question that just shows change always sucks.
Yeah,
People are resistant to change. Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
change is always bad.
Sometimes the changes themselves suck. What's going on in healthcare in the last 10 years has been insane.
If the financial benefits outweigh the downside of whatever the employees are complaining about, maybe you could say it, you know, is as they expected it to be. They may have expected this to happen, and it is okay, but that would be, I guess, an option or a reason to say no. There's nothing we can do. They did a good job during the project, but I would probably say yes. It's that the BA could consider a way to enhance it.
It's up to management to describe their process and communicate that they did the best they could. We'll research more and try to do better, but this is our hands are tied right now.
Right.
You can handle almost anything if people give you information. If they say my way or the highway, that's terrible. Management and everything else, but managers can sell you a bag of poop in a bag if they tell you about it and manage your expectations honestly.
Yeah, I agree. So you want to let's try C and see what it says?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Okay. C is wrong because since healthcare plans are contractual in nature, this is impossible or in all likelihood would be cost prohibitive. B, they say, is the correct answer. It is not feasible or even possible to change it. Unfortunately, the organization is locked into the healthcare plan for the calendar year.
And the question says that, so we overthought it.
We did overthink it. It's locked into a 1-year healthcare plan. Okay.
And this is how companies lose people.
It
Never get them
is.
back.
And this is how you get stuff wrong on exams.
Yeah, it's true. Just focusing on the exam though. Finn is a BA working on newly implemented logistics process for a packaging company. For a package supply company. He began gathering performance metrics on such things as how long the process took versus how long to get output from one area to another, defects in the output, duplicate steps, number of complaints, etc. The department supervisor complained to Finn that getting these statistics was a waste of time. She said she would rather he spend his time gathering requirements for automation to support the process. What rationale does Finn offer to his activities? He is working to understand that and validate the value that was delivered by the implemented solution. The information is needed as inputs into a SWOT analysis for the new automation project. Strengths, weaknesses, what's OT?
Opportunities and threats.
Thank you. The gathered measurements will support the automation project, or he needs to keep an eye out for defects so he can address them in a timely way to ensure customer satisfaction. D doesn't seem to match.
I like C.
I like C. What do you think?
Deborah, how do you feel?
Let's try it. Ooh, it doesn't explain the ongoing measurement activity. Okay. Finn is gathering the actual metrics that describe the performance of the solution in order to measure and analyze solution performance. So he's working on the implemented solution instead of the future solution.
That's not the, that's really the wrong way to say that. It's the current state.
I agree.
That's goofy, poorly worded.
I'll flag it just for you. Current state and future state are really the easiest ways to understand it.
And even on that last question where the healthcare system, they had a contract for a year. I think
Yes.
part of being a BA is with change management, and change management isn't always the technical solution. It's the, human side of the solution, and training, and, just communication, and,
Yeah.
internal marketing is huge. But yeah,
I
I was
agree.
just kind of thinking
Yeah,
about that.
I know when most companies change their plans, you spend months coming up with recordings and presentations to let all your employees know what's going on. Doesn't
Right.
sound like they did that.
Well, you basically have to run a marketing program whenever you want to make a big change to get everybody on board, at least your influencers on board. You're always going to have your, what is it they call them, laggards, the people that resist change no matter what.
Yep.
Okay, the next one. After solution performance measures are defined, who is responsible to decide which measures are used to evaluate the solution performance? Any stakeholder with decision-making authority, the business analyst, the sponsor, or the project manager? It seems like every question we've had is the business analyst evaluating solution performance.
It's a tricky one. I'm not sure. I think a stakeholder, but yeah, it seems like they could all be right.
Yeah, I'd say A. By the way, there was a new participant.
You are correct.
Say hello.
Any stakeholder with decision-making authority is responsible for deciding which measures are used to evaluate solution performance. I wonder what they expect us to do whenever you got multiple stakeholders using multiple measurements that conflict with each other.
That doesn't ever happen.
No, that doesn't ever happen. It's like according to my research, everything's good, but according to your research, everything's bad. So what do we do? Which inputs would be leveraged by the business analyst to support measuring solution performance? Implemented solution, external business objectives, implemented solution internal business objectives, budget and timeline, or current state description? I'm pretty sure you need current state description.
Yeah, A and B kind of cancel each other out. They're both right. That said, that was the answer to the first question was A.
Was it A or B? I'm not sure the difference between implemented solution, internal versus external.
Right, but the BABOK did say external.
Oh, okay.
So I think the BABOK's nuts here.
Let's check this answer. And you are correct. And you say that you think it's nuts?
Yeah, C is the right answer. Although business objectives are important, but what is the implemented solution? What's the difference between internal and external?
I don't know. Let's go to 8.1.3 and find out. Business objectives, implement a solution external. It doesn't explain it.
I'll Google it if you guys want to go on to the next one.
It's okay. Let me search this and see if I can get it from in here. It does not exist in the document. So all implemented solution is external.
And
If you
that's
want
a goofy definition.
Okay. Do you want me to flag it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I want to flag it in the BABOK as well.
Well, when we rewrite the BABOK, let's do that.
Man,
Which stakeholders are identified for assessing enterprise limitations of an existing solution? The end user, project manager, regulator, customer. The regulator, sponsor, project manager, domain subject matter expert. The customer, sponsor, domain subject matter expert, and regulator. Or the customer, sponsor, implementation subject matter expert, and business architect. Enterprise limitations, I can see the business architect being involved in that. I can see the implementation subject matter expert being involved in that. I can also see a regulator being involved in that. Oh no, this is enterprise limitations, not just limitations.
It's an existing solution. I don't know if that changes the who's, but
Yeah, well, in that case, implementation wouldn't work. It's probably the domain subject matter expert. What do y'all think?
I hear
Sounds good to me.
limitations. Limitations, I think architect sounded good. The regulator word jumped out to me, those type of words, but I'm not, they all look so similar.
Yes.
I like
Okay, C has regulator and domain subject matter expert. It's an existing solution. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. What did you say, Bob?
D, Delta.
D is in Delta. Let's check it. Okay. Let's go to this.
I was thinking maybe because it was an existing, not a new, you may not need an architect, but
Yeah.
maybe.
Okay. So customers, people directly purchasing or consuming the solution who may interact with the organization and the use of the solution. This domain subject matter expert provides input on how the organization interacts with the solution and identifies potential limitations. End user, people who use the solution or who are components of the solution. Users could be customers or people who work with within the organization. Regulator. one of the many governmental or professional entities that ensure adherence to laws, regulations, or rules may have unique input to the organizational assessment, as relevant regulations must be included in the requirements. There may be laws and regulations that must be complied with prior to or as a result of a planned or implemented change. And the sponsor authorizes and ensures funding for the solution delivery and champions action to resolve problems identified in the organizational assessment. So I don't understand why the sponsor is included in this if it's a already implemented solution.
Maybe the architect is not a, was the question asking what stakeholder groups? What,
Yes, which stakeholders should be involved?
maybe a business architect isn't a quote unquote stakeholder. I don't know.
I'm confident it's listed in other sections.
Okay.
The BABOK kind of uses the same outline for each one of these, and so it's going to have a stakeholder group for each thing and outputs and inputs.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to the next one.
I'm
What
wondering how I passed this thing.
I don't know how you did. I think something happened. The planets aligned or something. What is the difference between the roles of tester and the BA regarding the evaluation of solutions? The tester is typically responsible for identifying solution problems during the change versus assessing an existing solution outside of a change. They are interchangeable. They need to negotiate roles and responsibilities on a case-by-case basis. The BABOK doesn't suggest a delineation of responsibilities between these two roles for solution evaluation. The BA and tester are both typically responsible for identifying solution problems during a change, and the BA is responsible for assessing an existing solution outside of a change.
Kind of like A, but
I
solution
kind
out.
of agree.
Okay, let's check it. And you're correct. The tester is typically responsible for identifying solution problems during a change and versus assessing an existing solution outside of a change. So the BA would be assessing an existing solution outside of a change. A solution architect has a paper prototype of a system for which you are the BA. She asks you to evaluate the solution to ensure it meets the defined measurements before she passes it on to the developers, as she's going on vacation and won't be available for rework. How do you respond? You trace the requirements to her design to provide confidence the system will work. You suggest she builds a working prototype for evaluation purposes before development. You advise that your first evaluation is scheduled after development and will let her know the results. You advise her to talk to quality assurance as they will be conducting the tests. Some of those answers make me want to shake somebody. She has a paper prototype. B says build a working prototype, which is basic development.
I like A of those. It's
Yeah, I like A.
least awful.
It's the least awful.
Oh,
That's just goofy.
Okay, so tracing requirements to her design would tell you if the design would meet your requirements, wouldn't it? Am I wrong?
I mean, a design means prototype in that case, right?
Yes.
Well, it also says confidence that the system will work is different from confidence the system will address the requirements. So the whole thing is goofy.
Okay, goofy means flag. An organization has delayed replacing the operating system for an employee's computer for years due to the costs associated with the change. Microsoft stopped supporting the operating system, and the employee productivity has suffered as repairs are delayed if they happen at all. A BA recommends that the operating system be retired and replaced with the latest and greatest. Which of the following financial factors carry the most weight in this recommendation? Necessity, ongoing cost versus initial investment, opportunity costs, or sunk costs?
Deborah, what do you think?
Hello, I wish I spoke up because I said B for the last answer.
You get credit.
Yeah, I was enjoying that. Let me see. Gosh.
I run into this all the time.
I bet you do.
Yeah,
It's just easier not to change it.
Yeah,
yeah.
because people don't like change. You're right. Someone said that earlier. I don't know. I'm just going to have to guess and say ongoing cost.
Okay,
B.
let's find out.
I'd say A.
Oh, you were right. Was
How
that
many
Bob?
projects
Okay,
have
Ms.
you guys done to
Buckley,
find a Windows
ongoing
on
cost
something
versus
that's
as
important?
it's more expensive.
I'd like to try to go last to give these students a chance to pitch their ideas out first.
I agree. I agree. Is this one an acceptable question and answer? Do we flag it?
Yeah, this one was okay, at least for me.
Okay. If anyone wants me to flag a question, because we want the questions to be curated and made it the best possible. What term describes the effort already committed to an net present value, additional cost, or opportunity cost?
Sunk sounds like a bad word, but
Yeah.
is it?
Net
Yeah.
present value?
It's absolutely sunk cost.
Yeah, it's already spent, already allocated. Yeah.
It's a term of art.
Those of you who studied for the PMBOK, you're going to see this. Okay, how can a BA meaningfully determine if the value of a solution? By thoroughly analyzing the voice of the data, by defining solution performance measures, by performing a financial analysis to ensure the benefit continues to outweigh the cost, or by gaining a thorough understanding of the potential value that stakeholders hope to achieve with the solution.
Hmm.
D or C?
I need one more vote.
It's either C or D, I would say, and I'd say D is more general,
Yeah.
but would not be surprised if C is the right answer. And the reason I say D is because it includes the non-financial considerations, which
Okay.
are totally valid.
According to the BABOK, the BA can meaningfully determine the value of a solution by gaining a thorough understanding of the potential value that the stakeholders hope to achieve with the solution.
Yep.
So this comes up in economics, which in general is the study of choice in not just the study of monetary things or money-based things. So it's an important distinction.
I agree. Next question. What are the three major considerations that a business analyst must consider when conducting stakeholder impact analysis on a solution? policies, capabilities, and risk tolerance, functions, locations, and concerns, necessity, opportunity, cost, and sunk cost, and understanding, perception, and awareness.
A.
Yeah, I would second that.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's go look at 8.4.4.2 and see what it's talking about.
I was thinking of all those, B is the one I'd eliminate first, so what do I know?
No, me too. I was just gonna say the exact same thing. That would have been the one I would have said, nope, it's not that one.
A stakeholder impact analysis provides insight into how a solution affects a particular stakeholder group. So we have to look at the functions, how the stakeholder uses the solution to execute the process, and what outputs the stakeholder receives from the process, the geographic locations of the stakeholders interacting with the solution, and the issues, risk, and overall concerns the stakeholders have with the solution. May include the use of the solution, perceptions of the value of the solution, the impact of the solution has on the stakeholders' ability to perform necessary functions. Okay.
I actually like that description. Just those three floating words by themselves is hard to understand in context.
I agree with you.
I saw a risk and that caught my eye. I will say that location is certainly less important today than it was with V3.
Absolutely.
That may change.
With 80% of us doing everything from home, a location doesn't seem to be a factor at all, does it?
Oh, it depends on the project or process under investigation. If you're talking about shipping and logistics, for example, location is everything.
Yeah.
So it's real important.
Okay. Sierra discovered that the internal audit team performed audits the last calendar week of each month. The organization operates at a frantic pace the last week of the month to meet production goals. What might Sierra further investigate as a concern? Perhaps the entire facility doesn't need to be audited each month and that the sample of departments would be sufficient. Perhaps the fact that audits are completed each month is too often. Perhaps bi-monthly or quarterly makes more sense. Perhaps the timing of the audits may have a negative impact on the outcome, and why the frantic pace can't be spaced out across the month given the production goal. The one answer I expected is not in there.
What's the real
What's
answer?
that?
Yeah.
The fact that they do audits at the same time of each month is a good thing, because that way you got apples to apples comparisons for as far as you can go.
Yeah, but random audits give you better results.
You think?
Yeah,
But I think
because they
the
don't know what's
answer
coming.
is C.
You think it's B?
No, I
Okay.
think it's C. C is in Charlie, because they're saying they discovered an internal audit team that does this the last calendar of each month, week of each month. And then they're also saying that it's a frantic pace the last week of the month. So
Right.
perhaps the timing of the audits might have a negative impact. So maybe they should she should suggest moving timing of the audits.
I would also look at D.
Yeah, I like
why is everything piling up at the end?
Right.
What if the audits are part of the reason that it becomes a frantic pace?
Exactly.
Right.
The word is frenetic, by the way.
Frenetic, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
C or D.
let's try this one and see what it tells us.
Oh, yay.
Nice.
Good for you.
Yeah, and usually the end of month, you're trying to make your goals. So to try and do an audit at the same time.
Right. It's like stabbing yourself in the thigh and then telling yourself to run a race.
Uh-huh.
Why? What should not be considered when evaluating whether or not a solution should be retired or replaced? Future investment required, opportunity cost, necessity, or sunk cost?
I would say D. Can't do anything about sunk costs.
Yeah.
Okay. And it is correct. Money has been spent and cannot be recovered. But you know, there are a lot of companies and individuals who will say, but we've already put $20,000 into this. We can't switch. It doesn't matter.
It's hard to walk away.
It is hard to walk away, but sunk cost doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What your future cost, your current cost, your necessity, that matters. In order to obtain ISO certification, an organization created a project management team. The team doesn't appear to be fitting in. Which of the following would be helpful regarding the assessment of the solution? Enterprise cultural assessment, organizational structure changes, operation assessment, organizational structure changes, stakeholder impact analysis, and operational assessment. Enterprise culture assessment, stakeholder impact analysis, organizational structural change, operational assessment, and organizational structure change and stakeholder impact analysis.
Can we take out anything that assumes a change is needed? Or I'm just seeing the question asking for the assessment part.
Right? Well, we need to know who needs to be involved in the assessment of the solution. So the solution is they created a problem management team to obtain ISO certification.
Fitting in with what, each other or the rest of the company?
Yeah, that's good. The team doesn't appear to be fitting in. What does that mean? But they don't give us much.
They don't give us much. Well, by its nature, problem management would be considered an insult by most employees. You know, it's like you're saying we have a problem and you're going to come and attack us. And so they're going to automatically be resistant to that. So somebody give me a number.
I say A because I'm looking at all of them and stakeholder impact doesn't make sense to me. And that's in the other three. That's my only reasoning.
That's good reasoning. Let's go with it. However, so it says enterprise cultural assessment, stakeholder impact analysis, organizational structure change, operation assessment are all elements contained within the assess enterprise limitations that would be extremely helpful when assessing this solution. They're all pieces of the puzzle that they would each provide different but valuable information about this significant change. And 8.4.4, let's go there. Whether or not stakeholders understand the reasons why a solution exists, well, that would be a big asset, wouldn't it? Ascertain whether or not the stakeholders view the solution as something beneficial and are supporting the change, and determine if and what cultural changes are required to better realize value from a solution. So it also helps engage understanding and acceptance of the solution, assess perception of value and benefit, and determine what communication activities are needed to ensure awareness and understanding. Okay, that makes more sense to me. Anybody have any questions about it? we are almost at the end of our time and we have only answered 17 of our questions.
Lightning
let's-
round.
Yeah, let's do this last one. What output has the business analyst developed when they can provide a description of the current limitations of the enterprise, including how the solution performance is impacting the enterprise? The enterprise limitation, solution limitation, item tracking, or risk analysis results?
B.
B as in boy?
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry, B, C, and D sound the same whenever I only hear the last half.
Oh.
It was A. This is the output from the assess enterprise limitations task. This is one of those things that unless you study the BABOK, you don't know their terminology. So it's important to
Got to
actually
read.
study it. Yeah.
I need to go read the book.
If you become a member of the IIBA, you get a PDF of it free. I personally like it in hard copy so I can make notes and underline and highlight and stuff.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Okay.
Those diagrams we've looked at that show all the inputs and outputs are really good to study. They're very helpful.
Yes.
Thank you.
We did not make a very good score this time, guys.
Blame the newbie. You guys blame me.
No way.
Oh, I'm new
You're
too.
awesome. And you have excellent choice in headwear.
Yeah, we're matching, man.
Okay. We only have a couple of other chapters to go, but the techniques chapter is coming up. Do y'all want to repeat the solution evaluation chapter and study it for next week? Or do you want to go on to the next chapter?
I could do read this chapter again, or read this chapter and do this one again.
Okay. Well, we are on chapter 8 right now. Let's see, what is chapter 9? Oh, that's not telling me what chapter 9 is. Switch considerations. This is techniques. Chapter 9 is analytical thinking and problem solving. Okay, does anyone object to doing solution evaluation again? Okay, next
We're
week we'll,
probably good with that. We're gonna be, hopefully we'll get more people next week that
yeah, back
they'll
from
come
vacation.
back.
Solution evaluation again next week. I would encourage you, for those of you who are kind of new to the study group, solution evaluation is going to incorporate things out of techniques and out of the glossary. So you really need to study all three of those things to really be able to knock this out of the park. Because it'll refer to what techniques should they use whenever they're doing this thing. And it's like, we weren't talking about the techniques chapter, we were still in solution evaluation. But it's good to do the cross-reference whenever you run across that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your time and attention. We will do solution evaluation next week at the same time. Invite other people if you think that they would benefit. We welcome the conversation. Oh, I'm sorry, the lady who joined late.
Hi,
Deborah
yeah,
Berg.
Deborah Berg, yeah.
Thank you. I want to give you credit for being here.
And thank you very much. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna start joining.
And
Yeah.
Deborah and Ryan, when that share folder where we keep all the recordings,
Yeah.
there's also a copy of the BABOK out there.
Nice. Okay, thank you.
Thea didn't
Yeah.
hear that.
BERG.
There is this one at bpmtraining.net that somebody put on the internet. I don't know who did it, but it's out there.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Okay, Deborah, did I spell your name correctly?
Yes. Where in the
BE.
are you in? BEBORAH. I'll put it in the chat.
Okay,
It's BERG.
okay, that works. I got it. Okay, I'm gonna
Thank
send
you.
this. That way, you have to have a certain number of learning hours, training hours to take the test. And so this
Right.
will qualify as one of your hours.
Oh, very nice. Thank you. That's great.
Okay, and if you listen to the recorded lessons that we've done,
Yeah.
and you tell me which ones you've listened to, I don't mind putting that you get credit for those too, but just be honest with me.
Okay, understood. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank y'all. See you next week.
Yep,
Thanks
see
so
ya.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.